Live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV News at Noon.
First up, we'll have the latest on the war in Iran. A Waco teacher is fired after a sign-making protest.
And high winds caused traffic incidents across the Lone Star State.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Jeremiah Patterson.
And I'm Gabriela Cruz. First up, we have the latest on updates on the war in Iran.
Yeah, our Political Pulse reporter Marguerite Calkins has the story.
Thanks, Jeremiah. The war between Israel and Iran is entering its third week with new strikes now being reported in the Iranian capital. Black plumes of smoke were seen rising over Tehran following Israeli airstrikes targeting infrastructure. According to the Iranian Red Crescent Society, the video shows the aftermath of strikes across the city. Israel Defense Forces say this struck more than 200 targets across Iran. Israeli officials also say operations could continue with what they describe as thousands of targets still remaining. Officials in both countries have not yet released full damage assessments from the latest strikes. The 6 U.S. Armenian killed with a refueling aircraft crashed in Iraq. Last week, officials say the crash happened during ongoing operations in Iran. 13 U.S. service members have died since the conflict began in late February. Families and military leaders are now remembering the lives of those lost. CNN's Jen Sullivan has more.
This family in Ohio says they will never forget the moment when uniformed officers arrived at their home with devastating news.
They were lined up out on the porch, and I was like,
Cheryl Simmons was told her 28-year-old only child, Tyler, was killed. He was among the 6 service members who died last Thursday. The crew members were aboard a refueling aircraft when it crashed in western Iraq.
The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew was on a combat mission, and again was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire.
Technical Sergeant Simmons, Captain Seth Koval, and Captain Curtis Anks all served in the Ohio National Guard.
They are valued members of our team, and their loss is deeply felt across the 121st Air Refueling Wing and the entire Ohio National Guard.
Major John Alex Klinner leaves behind a wife, a 2-year-old, and 7-month-old twins, according to a GoFundMe set up by his family. Captain Ariana Savino, remembered as an Air Force superstar, who brought energy, grit, and ruthless commitment to making everyone around her better, one friend wrote in a Facebook post. Technical Sergeant Ashley Pruitt entered the Air Force in 2017 and deployed multiple times, according to the Air Force. Since the war with Iran began February 28th, at least 13 U.S. service members have been killed, leaving the families of these fallen soldiers to live with the tremendous loss.
once he got in the back of that airplane, that was it. He said, I will retire from this, Mom.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
The White House is demanding international warships join the mission to break Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt today defended President Trump's call for a global coalition.
The president is absolutely right to call on these countries to do more to help the United States to reopen the Strait of Hormuz so that we can stop this terrorist regime from restricting the free flow of energy. And the fact that they are doing so just underscores why President Trump needed to take this action in the first place.
With the president threatening to delay a high-stakes trip to China and warning NATO allies of a very bad future if they don't assist. The administration is making it clear that the U.S. is expecting aid. That's all I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Gabriella, I had the sniffles on the way to the studio this morning.
Me too, Jeremiah. It's way too cold, but our weather anchor, Anna Glisson, might have some good news for us. Anna?
Thanks, desk. I definitely see what y'all mean about this cold weather. This morning, I had to dig out my Letterman and wrap up in it just to get to the studio. But unfortunately, these temperatures are here to stay, for today at least. We're looking at 42 degrees right now with our feels like all the way down to 33 degrees. If you look at our wind speed, you're seeing why there's such a big gap here. We're seeing 19 mile per hour wind gusts, you guys, which is crazy. Going into tomorrow or tonight, however, it's going to be cooling down slightly, but it is going to be feeling warmer. And you'll see how that wind speed actually affects the feels like temperature here, because the wind speed is moving down to 4 miles per hour, which is significantly less than that 19 miles per hour. So we are in for a little bit of a warmer night. Now going into tomorrow, things are warming up a bit. We're seeing 51 degrees, which is a nice increase from what we're seeing right now. And there is still a little bit of a gap for that feels like. And moving to see our wind speed here, it is slightly better than what we're seeing right now. However, it is still going to be gusty. That wraps up your first look for today. Back to you guys at the desk.
AI could be affecting the way you handle tough situations in life. CNN's Maribel Gonzalez has more.
From seeking advice on relationships to completing the most mundane of tasks.
What should I eat? What should I wear?
Researchers like Pat Patrana-Taporn, who studies human and AI interaction at MIT's Media Lab, say they're seeing more people turn to AI for answers.
And a lot of people say that they think that because AI doesn't judge them in a way that another human being might do so.
But this habit could be stunting emotional growth, especially among younger users, says Dr. Michael Robb, head of research at the nonprofit Common Sense Media.
Adolescence is when young people are supposed to be learning the kind of uncomfortable, nuanced skills of human relationships. And that's things like, how to navigate a disagreement. It's how to read other people's perspectives, things like managing rejection.
And oftentimes, he says, AI is designed to be agreeable and may not always be accurate.
They tell users what they want to hear rather than challenging them to grow. So if you're a teenager, this is like kind of a false feedback loop, because a real relationship is going to involve friction and compromise.
And while AI can be helpful,
AI should be the bridge, not the replacement of human relationship.
Experts recommend parents and educators communicate with their teens about responsible use.
You want to create a safe space so that AI is not the only place that they feel comfortable talking.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
A new study shows AI also might not be the best place for teens to get diet advice. Researchers looked at the kind of meal plans chatbots give young people seeking weight loss. What they found raised some eyebrows. The AI-generated plans recommended about 700 fewer calories per day than what dietitians say teens actually need. The chatbots also suggested meals that were too low in calories and carbs, while promoting more protein and fat than recommended. Experts say that kind of imbalance can be risky, especially for teens whose bodies are still growing and developing. Up next, a Waco teacher is fired for sponsoring a protest.
And the UNT's Women in Business help students build confidence.
I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
A Texas teacher is speaking out after being fired following a student protest in Waco. CNN's Dominic Leah has the story.
I do take responsibility for missing the curriculum for that day, but you know, the consequence seems disproportionate.
Steve Gaines was an English teacher at Harmony School of Innovation, Waco, until he was fired in March, a month after students held a walkout protesting ICE. It all started after students in his class asked him for supplies to make signs.
I didn't have markers or a poster board, but I did have some old cardboard boxes that we cut into sign, sizes, and I had some paints that I had bought from a previous craft assignment.
Do you feel like making those signs was an appropriate use of class time?
Yeah, and I mean, it's a valid point, and a point that I completely respect.
Gaines has 11 years of classroom experience and was in his second year teaching at Harmony. He explained during first period, students made signs. Second period, students created flyers. But he tells me it wasn't until third period when school staff were sent a message from the principal telling teachers not to engage in the protest.
My only input at that point was that the United States Constitution, the First Amendment, says that you have a right to peacefully protest and petition your government.
Gaines says soon after the protest, he was asked for a statement on his involvement. Weeks later, he was let go. I reached out to Harmony asking for any information on Gaines's termination. They tell me while they don't comment on personnel matters, they, quote, must respect the privacy and confidentiality of current and former employees. Adding to their statement, we continue to remain focused on supporting our students and staff. Meanwhile, Gaines is taking responsibility for providing the students with the tools they needed and for missing instruction time that day. But he says there are some lessons you learn that aren't in the textbooks.
A teacher's number one goal is not to teach them where commas go, but it's to teach students, young people, to become well-rounded adults. And what we did on that day is part of that.
With St. Patrick's Day coming up and this weather remaining cold, I'm hoping that we can get lucky with some warmer temperatures later this week.
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely looking a little bit cold out there, especially coming back from spring break. Let's see what our weather anchor Anna Glisson has to say about it.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Well, right now it is looking like we're off to a cold start. It's looking like we could be getting lucky going into the rest of this week. Let's take a look at the map. So right now we're seeing fairly consistent temperatures across North Texas. Everything is in the low 40s, which is pretty interesting. You don't see that very often in Texas. But in Denton, we're seeing that 42 degrees with Sherman at 40, Gainesville 41, Decatur 40. You know, just generally the same low 40 temperature around the North Texas area. Zooming out to across the state, however, we are seeing a little bit more variation. Around Denton, we saw that 42, Abilene, 41, in Shreveport 45. However, in Austin and Houston and El Paso, temperatures are peaking to those low 50s. Going north, we are seeing Amarillo and Oklahoma City are still unfortunately stuck in those 30s. Looking at our local weather again, we are going to be seeing these warm temperatures. Like I mentioned in first look, Tuesday is going to be just slightly warmer at 65 degrees for a high, but moving into Wednesday, and you'll see this pattern continue as we continue towards the end of the week, we are going to be increasing to 79 degrees for a high, and then Thursday increasing again to 87, and Friday we are finally reaching 90 degrees with our high on Saturday at 94 degrees. It's looking like that warmth is going to be lasting the whole weekend and then dropping off a little bit on Monday. So yeah, definitely go ahead and plan to bust out some t-shirts this weekend and enjoy a nice warm break from the cold. I'm your other anchor, Anna Glisson. Let's head back to the desk.
For many students, building confidence in a professional space starts with finding the right community of people to surround yourself with. One student organization at the University of North Texas is working to do just that by connecting women of all majors with business opportunities and career development. I have the story.
Last month, I had the fortunate opportunity to visit an organization titled Women in Business that aims to create a shared space welcoming all students interested in a shared goal of building career identity, confidence, and connections.
For many students, stepping into the professional world can feel intimidating, especially for first-time students. Luckily, every Thursday, the University of North Texas's Women in Business program hosts a weekly meeting dedicated to bringing students together to focus on growth, community, and career exploration.
Women in Business aims to create a network that supports women interested in business-related careers, while also welcoming students from all majors across campus.
Our mission is really just to empower everyone. We're women in business, but we're open to all majors, all genders. But we do primarily serve women in business, of course. But just to empower and create this group for people to come here, feel safe, do volunteer events like we did today, and get that kind of community. I know so many people come to college and they don't have friends yet, and this is just a great way to kind of get out there and meet people.
Organizers say weekly meetings like this are designed to help students identify career paths, build confidence, and connect with opportunities both on and off campus.
Women in Business is one of the most comfortable places that I've been able to find. It's a very comfortable community that I've been able to build with other people. That's not something that I've been able to do in a lot of areas of life, and WIB has just shown me.
For many members, the organization serves as a space to learn, network, and feel empowered, no matter where they are in their academic journey.
The Women in Business weekly meeting took place 5 to 6 p.m. here in the Business Leadership Building. In case you missed this one, don't worry, there's more weekly. Organizers say they hope to continue expanding their community and providing resources for students throughout the semester. In Denton, I'm Gabriela Cruz with NTTV News. After spring break, I'm really starting to get in the summer spirit.
Yeah, you know what that means, some good old lemonade. I hear our live shot anchor, Riley Oldenburg, has a way that you can get your hands on some. Riley?
That's right. I'm here at the Communications Library at Sip and Celebrate, where you can celebrate International Women's Day by sipping on some sweet lemonade. There'll be movies, card making, and TED Talks to enjoy. So come by today until 5 p.m. in the General Academic Building and room 318. That's all from me. Back to you, Gabriella.
Up next, a wrap on last night's Oscars.
And a peek into sports across the world.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
The 98th Academy Awards brought Hollywood's biggest night to a close with some major moments both on and off the stage.
CNN's David Daniel has a look at some of the night's biggest moments.
Michael B. Jordan.
A heavenly night for Sinners as Michael B. Jordan won the Academy Award for Best Actor.
And everybody at home who supported Sinners, who went to go see the movie once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, thank you. Because you guys made this movie what it is. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Ryan Coogler was recognized for the film's original screenplay, and Autumn Durald Arkapaw became the first woman to win an Oscar for cinematography.
Whenever I say thank you to Ryan, he replies and says, "No, thank you. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for trusting me." And that's the kind of guy that I get to make films with.
Somebody take me.
The 98th Oscars included music from Sinners, which won for Best Score, and K-pop Demon Hunters, winner for Best Song and Best Animated Feature.
And for those of you who look like me, I am so sorry that it took us so long to see us in a movie like this. But it is here.
This is great.
Amy Madigan was delighted to accept the Best Supporting Actress trophy for Weapons.
This is really something.
As was Jessie Buckley, named Best Actress for Hamnet.
Mom, Dad, thank you for teaching us to dream and to never be defined by expectation, but to carve from your own passion.
Sean Penn was not there to accept Best Supporting Actor for One Battle After Another, but the film's casting director, Cassandra Koulakundis, gleefully accepted the first ever Academy Award for casting.
And for the casting directors that fought tirelessly to make it happen, despite everything in their way. I dedicate this to you and to the casting directors who never got a chance to get up here.
One battle after another, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson was up there plenty. The One Battle After Another filmmaker won his first 3 Oscars: Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture of the Year.
What a night. You guys, let's have a martini. This is pretty amazing. Cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Speaking of performances, I'm looking forward to seeing some big teams on the big stage in March Madness.
Yeah, me too. Let's go ahead and see what our sports anchor Maria Gonzalez has to say. Maria?
Thank you, Gabriela. I will be back after the raid with the latest on sports in the Middle East, IndyCar race, and in Arlington and March Madness.
Welcome back to Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas. Late Night at North Texas.
Color the world with peace and joy.
Tell me, Diva, what's the tea?
My Nisha drag is dumb.
The spirits have guided you to me.
It's a jibber jabber. Yes, jibber jabber.
Jibber Jabber is a man on the street indie TV show for Instagram that's in its 7th season. With 2 hosts, 1 comfy chair, and a Would You Do Something bowl.
Pretty much the gist of our show is that we're going to be inviting UNT students, all of our lovely family over, and we're going to be talking to them. And when we run out of things to say, we're going to ask them,
Would you do something?
I think we're ready to do something.
Fortnite son or Minecraft daughter?
Due to safety concerns in the Middle East, some major sporting events will be canceled. Formula One announced on Saturday that both the Bahrain Grand Prix and the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix will not be held. In Luceo de Finalísima, a huge soccer match between Spain and Argentina that was scheduled for next Friday was also canceled. This is a huge blow for tourism and businesses in the region. Organizers of other major events in the region keep monitoring the situation, hoping that things subside in time for the events to take place. The IndyCar Grand Prix of Arlington took place last weekend. Kyle Kirkwood and the Andretti Global team took the victory, followed by Alex Palou with Chip Ganassi Racing and Will Power with Andretti. The race was 70 laps long and the circuit went along major landmarks such as AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, and the Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. This is the first time this event takes place in Arlington and is the start of a multi-year deal in North Texas. The NCAA tournament bracket is set, kicking off the start of March Madness. Top seeds in the bracket are Duke in the East, Arizona in the West, defending national championship Florida in the South, and Michigan in the West. Be on the lookout for some interesting matches and pay special attention to Cameron Boozer from Duke, Braden Burries from Arizona, and AJ Devonta from BYU. There are no sure bets with this bracket, but sure it will be an exciting tournament. That's all I have for sports today. I will throw the ball back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Maria. The post office is rolling out new stamps honoring lowrider culture.
These lowrider stamps are rooted in Mexican and southwestern Chicano culture.
The stamps include photographs of a number of lowrider, Chevrolet, and Oldsmobile models. The stamps also add a tad wider than normal to show off as much detail as possible.
Hey, I need me a lowrider, man.
That's what I'm talking about, me too. Thank you guys for watching NTTV News at Noon.
Join us again at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.